piano students. This week's practice is playing one octave arpeggio with arm movement. We practiced moving fingers for several weeks, and last week we added hand movement. This week we're adding arm movement. Here is G major one octave arpeggio. First, I'm going to try without arm movement. Watch again. I think my pinky was weak. The top G was softer than others. I have 3 strong fingers and one weak finger, pinky. So let's try again. Try to make pinky a little bit stronger. Okay, I think my high G, number 5, was forced. It had some strange accent, and then it was not musical. So now let's try with arm movement. So I'm going to add arm movement. What do you think? You saw me moving my arms, but also the sound. Did you think it was balanced better? My number 5, high G, was balanced better with other notes, and also arpeggio was more legato and flowing. So it was more musical playing. That's why I wanted to use arm movement. Arm movement means making circles. Watch how I play. Now let's look at my arm right here, making circles. Yes, my arm is making circles. Now look at my elbow. Entire arm was making circle, but especially my elbow is making big circle. Now how about my wrist? My wrist is making circles too. And my hand is making circles. How about each individual finger? Here's my number 1, making a bigger circle than other fingers. Now let's watch pinky. This circle is smaller than number 1. But it's making a circle. How about number 2 and 3? Watch my number 3. That is the smallest circle. Number 2, little bigger than number 3. So when you look at each finger, number 1 circle was the biggest, and the next was number 5. Number 3 was the smallest. Number 2 was somewhere between number 3 and the number 5. So you have to learn how to make a circle. There are 2 ways to explain arm movement technique. First one, using this pencil. This is just a regular pencil with eraser at the end. I like to use this to explain arm movement. Here's how you use it. Here, just gently push out. Oh, interesting. See, I push out and it comes back. Now, if I move my pencil after I pushing out, let's see what happens. It still comes back. Okay, so I don't need to push it and then putting back in. You just need to push it and just relax. Either stay there or not stay there. See, it still comes back, and maybe I need a little more movement, continue movement to come back to the original position. But normally I don't really need to pay attention. It just comes back. Here, why I like this one, I can check how relaxed or how tense I am. Here is my tensed position. I can't push my arm. I'm pushing it, but my arm is not moving. Now here's a relaxed position. I'm going to shake my arm, and then here's the relaxed position. Now it's moving. See, so that's how I can check how much I am relaxed. So before we go on any further, I'm going to emphasize you have to be relaxed to be able to do this arm motion. Make sure your arm is relaxed. Otherwise, it doesn't move. See, it doesn't move. So make sure you relax so you can make a circle, nice gentle circle. Second way is paying attention to position of each finger. Here is the same G major arpeggio or chord. So let's play it as a chord and check the finger. Look at my number one. Here is the key, and then my number one is playing like this. Okay, so number one is a little bit working hard compared to other fingers. It's working harder than other fingers. But my number two and three, they're actually okay. Number three is actually straight to the key. My number three finger is straight to the key. Number two is slightly not straight. Number one is very much not straight. Number five also not straight. So it's good to play number three. Okay for number two, not good. Well, the number one is a strong finger, so it doesn't create too much of a problem. Pinky is not good because it's like almost like 45-degree angle. So playing this, that's why it's hard to play, especially for pinky. So here is how I'm going to explain. To make position your finger, okay, each finger one at a time, straight to the key. So here's number one. Let's make number one straight to the key. Now next number two straight, number three straight, number five straight here. Now come back, number three straight, number two straight, number one straight. This time, watch my arm, whether it's moving or not. Here's number one straight, two, three, here's number five. See that my arm is out. And then number three straight, number two, number one. So that's the idea behind it. So you support your finger with the arm to find the strong position. So here's a strong position for 1, 2, 3, 5. So you move your arm to support your finger, especially number 5 is a weak finger, so you want to support it. This is better playing that way, stronger than this way. So when you do that, you're making circle naturally. When I use this number 2 way to explain arm motion, sometimes my students don't have enough circle motion. I notice sometimes just go to swing motion. Go to number 5, number 1, number 5, number 1. Yes, my arm is moving, but it's more of the swing motion. Do you remember how I played earlier? The good arm movement is actually making a circle, slight, not exact circle, but little bit of movement vertically. So circle is more of the horizontal movement. Now the vertically is not really circle. This is how I'm making a circle. It's really bad. See, I'm going down a lot. I'm going up a lot. I don't think we can play like that. So circle is actually not happening in the vertically. You only go down a little bit and you only come up a little bit. So here, a little bit go down and a little bit come up. So that is missing. It's just happening in the one position. There is no up and down. It's just going to the side and then making movement like that. But there is no going up and down movement. Even though it's not complete circle, I still call it circle. So then I started using number 1, using with a pencil a little more, and I think it's just naturally you can understand when you come back. It goes up a little bit, not necessarily my elbow, but like I feel it on my wrist and my hand goes a little bit high. Now don't move too much. I don't like those movement, and also I don't like the sticking elbow. Some students do it too much. It's enough to use the pencil. Just this much is enough. Now you can make it to a smaller circle, and then of course you can make it a bigger circle, but it never goes out like that. Then also the movement is gradual. I don't have any fast. Don't poke fast and making a fast movement. Even when I make a fast movement, actually there is a nice movement going in and out, not sticking out and in. So it's nicely, continuously moving in and out here, even though I move it fast. So there's a continuous motion of the circle. So I'm going to continue to use pencil to explain arm movement. Now I'm going to do that again. Watch my elbow. So here I'm using pencil to make a circle motion. So here is, I'm going to actually place my arm is making a nice circle, and it's very comfortable and I'm relaxed. Now watch my wrist. Doesn't move up that much. Here is the lowest spot. You see that I'm moving slightly higher. Now I'm touching my pencil. It's a little bit high. Now it's going touching and a little higher. So it is moving slightly up and down, but not a lot. So be careful with that. Now let's look at my hand. What happened to my hand? So when I do this, can you tell my hand position is moving between more open position and a closed position? What happened when I close my hand? My knuckle gets higher, moves higher. Don't over exaggerate. Just naturally, a little bit. Here is natural position. Okay, normal position. Now when I open position, because I'm playing a big chord. Now when I close my hand, it rises up. My hand rises up, especially the knuckle. Also, that helps my wrist rise up a little bit. It's different than putting my wrist up or just slightly rise. So you need to have this motion. When you go out, it's more open position. When you come back, slightly higher because I am closing my hand. So here I'm going out and I'm closing my hand, and then slightly closed position, or you can say more round position, and my hand wide. Okay, now let's watch my fingers. What happened to my fingers? First of all, my fingers are curved. So when my hand is open, it's slightly less curved, but still curved. Exception of pinky and the number 1, they are a little bit straight, but number 2 and 3 curved. Now when I do this one, and it becomes a little bit more curved when it gets round. Now I want you to watch my pinky, how I play my number 5. When I actually play it, I'm using fingertip, same thing. Number 2, when I play, using fingertip here, number 5, fingertip, and then number 3, fingertip, 2, 1. So make sure that when I play number 5, don't just reach it. You have to play fingertip. Then my hand gets closed, and then also my hand rises a little bit. So I can achieve in that way to use the fingertip. Remember that using fingertip, especially for pinky, you're going to automatically have a good position, round hand position, and slightly rise right here, and then it goes out too. So you can achieve everything. So you can remember, make a pinky, use the fingertip, or you can just simply say, I'm going to use my arm, and practice with a pencil. That helps you. So I want you to feel that how each finger, where it is touching, especially the pinky, is the fingertip. Now let's actually play. I want you to practice 1 and 5 first. So here is number 1 G and number 5 G. Okay, so make number 1, and then I'm going to push out to number 5, and then come back to 1. Go out number 5, 1. You can either think straight 1, straight 5, straight 1, straight finger 5, or you can use pencil. Here is number 1, and then push it out. Come back and push out again. Good. Now let's check how the number 2 and number 3 are moving. This time, before you actually play number 2 and 3, just put it in the position and then just feel it. Is it moving? It's moving. Number 2 is actually moving a little bit between B and the C. Number 3 is staying there, but it's moving. You don't need to try to stay there still. So you can move around a little bit. So just feel that number 2 and 3 are staying there. And then play 1 and 5, 1, 5. Now add other notes. Now you may be thinking, am I be able to play this move really fast and then still have the arm movement? Yes. It's not just for slow movement. You can do it in the fast passages too. So that was the right hand. Let's try left hand. So here's my left hand. I think I'm going to use different octave because I don't think you can see my pinky. So here is D major. Now, problem of left hand when you play arpeggio, you start with number 5. So now you're thinking, how do I start with number 5? So I have to start in the middle and push it out, or do I start in the outside position? It really doesn't matter. You can start in that way as long as you're not sticking out overly. Okay, so find the comfortable position to go out. So here, I'm going to start in the middle and then push it out. Okay, how about I start on the number 5, and then I can start, so I don't need to push out that much, just a little bit of pushing. Now here I can push more. Before I go any further, I would just want to think about it. It's different when you play comfortable position. Now I'm playing a comfortable position, or far away, or like in an uncomfortable position. When you play comfortable position, please moving arm movement, adding an arm movement is not that hard. Now when you move inside, it becomes harder. So this position, playing number 1, is very uncomfortable, when number 5 is comfortable. Here I'm going to start to position my fingers strong position for number 5, and then move to uncomfortable position, and in here I'm going to quickly push out to comfortable position. So here I'm actually helping to push out from uncomfortable to comfortable. So here, I don't need to, at the beginning, you remember that I pushed out gently here. I don't really need to push it. I just have to come back in, and in here, I really have to push it out. So first, you find the comfortable position, practice there, and then when you feel very comfortable in there, you can move those upward position, like higher or lower. This one is very hard for my left hand, so is my right hand. If I start lower, it's not comfortable. Now, if you go outside, not as bad as going inside, but still is not as comfortable as the middle, that right outside of my body. That is the most comfortable position. So it's not as comfortable as that. And then you don't need to move too much out circle, because I have to extend my shoulder or arm. Oh, yes, shoulder. When you do this, sometimes I see the students' shoulders go up. I know you can't see my shoulder right now. Try not to move your shoulders up. That's not good. So shoulders down. You can actually practice pushing your shoulder down and move your arm. That's one way to do it. And also, you're sure that your shoulder is down, you can just use a pencil to go push it out and then in. Okay, here I'm moving back to the comfortable natural position, which is right next to my body, elbow right next to my body. Okay, so if you have a problem starting with number 5, it's a good idea to start with number 1 on the left hand. So I'm going to start with a high D. Now, when you get used to it, you can start from number 5. It's actually not too bad. The problem is we are putting hands together. What is the problem putting hands together? The motion is not the same. It's not going out at the same time unless you do the contrary motion. So you practice first contrary motion. So here's I'm playing G major. Okay, so G, B, D, G, same notes, contrary motion, and my arms are going out at the same time. Both arms going out and coming back in. Okay, that is much easier. So when you get used to it, each hand, now putting it together in a contrary motion. Now what happens when you play same notes, parallel? So that problem is left hand is going out and right hand is actually, left hand is coming back in, starting out and then coming back in. Right hand has to go out. So this one is coming in, this one is going out. So here is, it's not happening at the same time. Here is the in and out. So this is much easier. This one, plain parallel motion. You need to get used to it. So I recommend to practice contrary motion first, and then you can move to parallel motion. If you are new to this exercise, I highly recommend to record yourself playing. It looks like easy when you watch me playing, but when you're playing, you might have some question and you want to know, like, do I look okay? So you can record yourself and then watch your video and see how it looks. If it looks like you're sticking out a little too much and it looks uncomfortable, then you're not doing it correctly. And then compare with how I play. I started making videos when Monmouth College switched to remote learning. It is getting close to the final exam and end of the semester, so I think it's good time to take a break making videos. I hope my videos are helpful. Continue practicing. Bye.